cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90.
Good morning, CSF Nation, and officially welcome to the first week of spring. I hope you all are enjoying the warmer temperatures that we're having this weekend, and it won't last for long as the clouds are starting to build up. High pressure is building up, and plenty of moisture is also building up, meaning that the rain just won't leave us alone. Well, at least not just yet, though, but we'll get right into it, of course. I am Marisa, the producer and weather girl for Makini in the morning, and we would like to thank, once again, Wattle Strike for sponsoring this week's 7-day forecast. Let's get right into it. This week starts with 3 days of warmer temperatures. Surprisingly, Monday will be the warmest day throughout the CSF Nation this week, with temperatures in the early 70s and lows in the mid-50s. This is before the clouds roll in and another cold front makes its way. A lot of high pressure coming from the clouds rolling in this week, and that pressure will be spreading throughout. The coastal areas will be much cooler inland on Sunday and Monday. However, that high pressure will continue to build and spread. The moisture will also be building up, and by Tuesday, expect much cooler temperatures with partly to mostly cloudy skies, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and lows in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Wednesday will see a return of wet conditions, however. Rain will hit the Gulf before making its way inland late Wednesday morning in scattered showers for most of the CSF Nation, with and half an inch depending on where you are. Check your local listings, of course. The high pressure from the cloud covers will, however, hover over the CSF Nation on Thursday and Friday. But that moisture will be building up once again, leading to a wet Saturday with an inch of rain throughout this time. This will set you up for next week, as the nice temperatures won't return until Tuesday at the very latest. So make sure to enjoy these warmer temperatures, especially this weekend, when you can. And that concludes this week's 7-day forecast, sponsored by Wattle Strike, the global leader in cloud computing and cybersecurity, especially here in the CSF Nation. Put your trust in Wattle Strike. I am Marisa, the producer and weather girl from Makini in the morning, and I wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Until next time, now it's over to Makini for Makini in the morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful show, Makini, and I'll definitely be tuning in. Ciao!
Give it up.
we go. Let's do this. All right. You guys had a good weekend. It's time for a new week. Good morning, CSF Nation. I'm Makini, now artist, journeyman, and illustrator. Welcome you to another new week. Welcome back to Makini in the morning. Hope you all are doing well today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, first up on the docket, we do have goal today. Our goal today is to finish the Graytones here. We're going to do it in... I would like to knock this out within the first 25 minutes. No. We're going to knock the Graytones out within... our goal is to knock the Graytones out today and start on the flats. I want to spend I want to try to knock the Gyaru girl out in like 25 minutes and then spend the next 25 on the Amasuku girl as well. So let me know what you guys think. This has been, you know what, it's slow and steady, but yet I've been making progress. We've definitely been making progress on this one. So let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys thought so far, especially if you guys have any ideas for like color choices and such like that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's because we're playing with different styles of different Gyaru styles, which is really having fun with this. Really am. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the music, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat, and of course, smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle as well. Thank you to everybody who showed up on yesterday's Makini Live. That was fun. That was really fun show we had yesterday. Definitely a lot of blast, and I think we probably have plenty to go over as it seems that we are officially in the meltdown phase over this weekend. Of course, AC Shadows not being a game media is trying to spin it. Let's put it that way. Game media really trying to spin it, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's go right into it. This first stuff. Of course, I see Penny is in the chat, so let me blast some tunes for her. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's the plan, guys. We're knocking the flats out today. Let's get the first. See if we can get the fourth girl done. It's going to take longer than 25 minutes right now, but I want to try to get all the flats done, or get all the grayscale done as soon as possible. So go ahead and say hi to everyone while I am setting all this up. First up, Power, good morning to you. Of course, this is the serious news. The state has sold to a significant rapper catalog. The primary label, the publishing company, which already owned the rights to significant national release dates in the catalog. Kurt Cobain, John Lennon, and Prince. Very big application. The company confirmed the deal with this state on Thursday, but has not provided any financial details. However, reports by the Hollywood Reporter were suggesting that the rapper's publishing rights would be worth as much as $100 million for a film. Essentially, cards on for the pretty much for the total of the incomplete rights. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, it is confusing, and just some other music news. Mariah Carey wins her copyright case. Federal judge in Los Angeles sided with Mariah Carey in the lawsuit, alleging that she illegally copied elements of her holiday classic "All I Want for Christmas Is." No, we're not going good. So, we're having nightmares right now. Don't start. Okay, we ain't going for that. Okay, it's not Christmas, bro. But congratulations on what you got done. That's all things considered. Okay. Neo J, good morning. Benny, good morning. Neo J says I finally got Zealous on PC. I see our boy Neo is finally joining the PC Master Race in the history because the only way to play Zenless, the only to play any Horrorverse game, the only way to play most gacha games now is on PC. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That really is my only way to play. I play Nikkei on my Samsung tablet, but only because it runs just as smooth as it is on PC, which PC is full 60 frames per second. And especially Zenless to me, and especially a lot of these action RPG gachas are meant to play, such as like Wuthering Waves, Frontier Raven. They're meant to be played on PC. It's meant to be played on PC with a full gamepad in hand. It's like perfect. Just for me. And of course, I play PC. Of course, if you're a connoisseur, the proper way to play Zenless is with mods. I clicked. Mods. So just saying. Benny, good morning. Music is ready to go. Neo J, good morning. Let's put on mobile and let you have a real beefy. Let you got a real beefy phone that can really it's got the horsepower behind it. You know, one that's really got the horsepower behind it. I wouldn't recommend playing anything on phone, to be honest. Like you said, Zenless, Snowbreak, and Nikkei are the only 3 gachas I play right now, and I play them on PC. Nikkei, I'm willing to play on my tablet because it's got the power for it. Run it, so full. So, okay. Anyway, it's time to get right into it. Let me go ahead and set the clock. Just get my references up first, and then we shall begin. Then what we're also going to do, the clock ready. We're going to set this baby for 25 minutes. Remember, this one's 25 minutes. Timer. Oh, by the way, Neo J. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's all I'm gonna say. You're welcome. Okay. Okay. So we got plenty to go over. So let's go ahead and sit. Where is my clock? Where's my clock? Where is it? Pomodoro timer right here. Let's begin here. Here's my Pomodoro timer ready. We got everything pretty much ready to go. Okay. Yes. One last thing to set up is for this. Plus, this is a speed date. I do want to finish this week. That's my plan. I want to finish it this week. I want to finish this whole illustration this week. And now, we're on the 4th one. Traditional girl style. There we go. First thing first. Let me go back. Let me. Okay, here we go. Then do a contact. OME actually. Here. Here. And here. Right. Okay. Here. Let's see. Okay. That out of the way. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and do yummy. Yeah, very yummy. Yes, very, very yummy. Yummy. Okay, I gotta wait till. Wait. Freak, what the freak? What are you doing? What's going on? What's going on? There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. The plan is to get it to get the flash once. Right? I've been keeping it to almost like a pseudo. I picture it more of a pseudo like social approach with this one. Pretty sure it's pseudo social approach here. I'm going to take that I'm not on a moving train, so I can be able to do this properly. Here. Oh, I'm on the. Oh, no. Okay, hang on, I gotta start over. No. We're still on the base shading. It's like, oh, no. Let's go back. Rewind it back. Rewind it back. There we go. Okay, base. Okay, base. There we go. The whole thing, like fill it up with a graytone, fill it up, use the fill tool, and then just erase, and then start erasing. It might be much quicker than to try to draw the shading in. Here, gonna admit, Cosmic's message really is starting to grow on me. I can really admit, I do admit that this gray tone This grayscale method really is starting to starting to grow on me. And speaking of growing, that was a horrible segue, but I see Daryl in the chat, so let me get Daryl. Let me get Daryl shout out real quick. Hang on a second. Where's Daryl? Where is it? Where's my clip? Where is my clip? How dare you play? How dare you play C-Side Route 765? What the freak? Anyway, what's up, Daryl?
My nigga.
How dare you play C-Side Route 765? I've been banging to this track like all last week. Okay, I'm gonna back this up. Okay, come on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, there we go. It's gonna take some time, though. It's gonna take some time. So. Take some time. This might be, like I said, this might be much faster. Okay. So what I'm doing is throwing this up, and then what we're gonna do. Here. Here. As you can see, I'm filling it in. Eli, good morning. I'm filling it in, and what I'm doing is just erasing, basically. And if I need to, here. It probably excuse the fact that drawing 5 characters. I'm drawing 5 girls in one picture. So I probably would have been probably too. If we just one, I probably would have been done already. But I'm not trying to make it cute. Here. Here. Just trying to keep it simple. That's the thing. Trying to keep it simple. Trying to keep it simple. Here. Here. I didn't really have anything cute. I was realized I don't have anything queued up for the 15-minute break, so we might go over the article from PC Gamer, which is massively lying. Let's put it that way. Lying, which is serious coping going on, but it is also some really like lying too about trying to prop up the numbers of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and especially trying to compare it to the actual 2 million in sales that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got. Not this is AC Shadows 2 million players, not copies. You're trying to equate that, and then doubling down on that. It's just like, yeah, you're just being dishonest. I'm just like, here you're being dishonest, like completely dishonest. So. That's games media for you, though. That's games media for you. Yeah, I suspect heads are gonna roll this week. Oh wait, I still got a Kyle video to watch too. Just 2 million players. Not even that. I think it was so understood. It's the most rented game in history, basically. Considering the fact that you can get it on, Ubisoft Plus for free and all that stuff, it's the most rented game in history. I think that's the best way to put it. It's the most rented game in history. AC Shadows. We still have 10 minutes, so. Also keep in mind, 2 million for a small 2 million for a small indie studio in the Czech Republic is actually really big. It's actually a really big thing. Because Warhorse is based out of the Czech Republic, so it's like, yeah, it is a big thing. It's just they love to spin it. It's just they love to spin it. Okay, how are we gonna do this first? Okay. I think it goes into the first question. Like, are you guys into, like, do you guys prefer? Do you guys really subscribe to the Xbox Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus, the streaming service? Do you guys really do subscribe to the streaming service for these these streaming services? Which I assume that a lot of you don't. Honestly, a lot of my audience doesn't follow the streaming services basically, and that's how I said that's kind of said about Game Pass, kind of inflating the numbers, like the whole thing with the Avowed and stuff like that. Ubisoft's not giving us actual direct sales figures, and it's not. I think because they know that this game didn't sell well. And the media is trying to prop this up. The media is trying to really push this out into the ether, push this up that is 2 million players, but that doesn't equate to sales though. And that's not just, yes, we understand that we understand that we do have a tendency to using the Steam numbers, but what is only good is like Steam sales can be a decent barometer on a trajectory. It can be a good trajectory because I don't think it's gonna hit the. I don't think it just got beaten out by Monster Hunter Wild. It got beaten out by Monster Hunter Wild. It got beaten out by Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It got beaten out by. I think we'll have to. You know what? I want to see the direct comparison in terms of Steam with Yasuke Simulator and AC Shadows. I want to see that. We'll do that during the 5-minute break. So we'll get into that. This is. I just want to get there. This is like pulling the veil. It's like almost directly beat for beat, doing the exact same thing what we saw with Veilguard, like doing it to a T. It's like. Then we got minimal effort. Tebow, also bringing up kind of like the AI and such like that, and how it's really stupid. It's stupid. Anime AI is stupid and such like that. And it's like, yeah, this is a Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft. This is a Ubisoft right now. This isn't. If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. But heads are going to roll this week. I think heads are going to roll this week. I think we're going to see some, I think some of the investors are not going to be happy this week. Because the weekend has finally passed. It's finally out. And there's definitely a multitude of problems that don't warrant this game a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, or even like I said, to me it looks like a 6.5 at best. It looks like a 6.5. It just looks like a 6.5. I don't see where it gets the 9s and perfect scores, because to me If he gets a perfect 10 out of 10, that's game of the year material, and nothing about nothing about AC Shadows just does not look game of the year quality in me. Not even a nomination or runner up, like. But it would be funny to see if Jeff tries to spin this in this year's later this year at the Game Awards. So that'll be interesting to see if Jeff tries to spin it. Good morning, Lucky Nico. Well, Game Pass will worthwhile but charge less, so they prefer. So yeah, it's just like the subscription services and stuff like that. Ubisoft Plus, like that. They need this to be a hit. Really need this to be a hit. And it ain't gonna be a hit. And I look at it at like, okay, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way, Grumpy, and everyone in the chat. Look at it this way. You know how for those who those who watch Cold Casino, stuff like that, and they go into the business side of like filming and entertainment stuff like that. You notice that one of the most common things when it comes to films is talking about the second week drop. So when you say like when they talk about a big tentpole film, we do pay attention to how it does on the second weekend and how big of that drop is on the second weekend. You can use that in probably that same vein in regards to video games as well. You can probably use that in the same regard to video games as well. Like, do you really think that there's going to be some kind of resurgence for AC Shadows by like the second weekend? Do you think there's really going to be a resurgence or some kind of some kind of push? I don't think so. I do think in about I'm going to give it at least 6 months. I'm going to give it till the end of the year. It's going to be heavily discounted. Either it's going to be heavily discounted or it's going to be free it's going to be maybe it's going to be on the November PS Plus lineup, free on PS Plus. You know what I mean? I know some of you guys are probably speculating it may take even shorter time for it to be on free on PS Plus or get heavily discounted. But do I think there's going to be some kind of like resurgence of AC Shadows interest by this weekend, by next weekend? I don't think so. No, I think it peaked. I think whatever it was, it peaked and it's not going any higher. So, and Ubisoft needs this. Hey, that's what I said, G. Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to plagiarize. I'm sorry. Am I feeling boosted? I wasn't trying to. I'm sorry, OG. I wasn't trying to plagiarize you. I'm just saying. That's just what I was coming towards conclusion. Real PS Plus in 4 months. So you think like Veilguard? Veilguard is gonna be PS Plus in 4 months. Granted, Veilguard took a huge nosedive after launch. It took a major nosedive, and I think people are still trying to promote Veilguard to get Veilguard. Why you should buy Veilguard for free? Like, no, we're not buying it. Nobody didn't want to buy it on PS Plus for this month anyway, and it's free on PS Plus. Like, there's some serious COVID going on right now. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, 5 minutes are up. 5 minutes are up. Okay, 5 minutes are up. So, 25 minutes, first 25 minutes up. We got the base shading done. Let's go ahead and knock out the contact shading in the next 25. In the meantime, let's take a look. Steam BB. Okay, so this is the charts for. Okay, let's look at shadows. Okay, so 43,942 currently playing right now. 64,825 is its all-time peak. I don't think it's gonna go higher. I really don't think it's gonna go higher than 64. I think it's gonna start dipping. So go back to 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you can see it's starting to kind of build up. We're building up, but then it's starting to go down. Now we're a week in. Now we're about 2 days in. We're about 2 days in, and you can see it's going to start dipping. You can see that dip. You can see that slow rise, but it's dipping in player count. Now let's do a comparison with BB. Let's do a comparison with Yasuke Simulator. 120 in game. Simulator. So 271 at an all-time peak 4 days ago. So yeah, it's doing well. It's doing categorically better than Yasuke Simulator. We're seeing out here, it's crazy. It is crazy for a AAA Ubisoft game with what Mom Bear said, at least 300 million in budget. Yeah, that's not. Those numbers just aren't. Those numbers are pretty good, honestly. And I want to take a moment and look at. Let me just take it. I just want to grab. I just want to watch this film. I just want to watch this segment for minimal effort because he makes. Because Tebow makes a really good point here.
The first official weekend for Assassin's Creed Shadows is in the books. And there is a ton of heavy lifting being done by media outlets, and of course, absolutely mind-numbingly retarded.
So this is the AI.
It just shows the bloat in the AAA video game industry, and by companies like Ubisoft especially, who have got too many irons in the fire. They even have credits for, of course, their diversity and inclusion people in the credits for this game.
I forgot to mention, I completely forgot to mention this yesterday. This game has 2 hours full of credits. It has 2 hours full of credits. No game that big or small needs 2 full hours of credits. I just don't understand that.
So it's just complete wasted bloat. Yeah, then, of course, we have the video footage from a lot of the gameplay, the last, few days of them coming out, and people making excuses for it, saying, oh, in this situation here, this is only on easy mode. You can clearly see the person dodging, so they're just faking it there, right? Okay. Then, of course, down here saying it doesn't do this on hard mode, so if you're playing on hard mode, they still can hit you on the ground. Well, that looks like a normal video game. Fine, okay. Kind of stupid that they won't hit you on the ground on easy mode, but they'll do it on hard mode. That's kind of retarded if you ask me. But then from Delibrium here, it says, here you go, set on expert. So this is expert mode apparently, guys. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and mute it because it's kind of loud. The AI in this game is absolutely mind-numbingly retarded. And I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. This is that situation like on The Office where it's like you don't call your friends retarded people retarded, you call your friends retarded when they do something stupid. In this situation, the AI is being completely idiotic. It doesn't make any sense. It's like confused and perplexed by the fact that your character is just laying here on the ground and it doesn't know what to do. It's completely lost. And again, it's just more of the same in this video. It just goes on and on and on. The AI in this game is some of the...
This is on expert, the highest difficulty. And it's like, come on.
The worst I have ever seen. But here's where you get the heavy lifting by the media. Sites like this, WCCF Tech. Assassin's Creed Shadows has reached 2 million players, besting Origins and Odyssey. We've talked about this because, again, it's not just the Steam numbers alone. They're counting console players, they're counting Ubisoft Plus players who are subscribed to Ubisoft Plus who aren't actually buying the game. They're counting those as 2 million players. They have yet to say 1 million sales, but they keep saying 2 million players. They're going to beat that like a drum, right? In this article, it says, earlier today, Ubisoft proudly revealed that Assassin's Creed Shadows has already reached 2 million players, surpassing the launch of Origins and Odyssey. Okay. On release day, the game had broken the milestone of 1 million copies sold. This is a lie. The game didn't sell 1 million copies. They announced on launch day that within 24 hours, 1 million people had played it. They very specifically did not say copies sold. But then you get even better here. PC Gamer reiterates this lie, and then they actually double down on it. Mm-hmm. Assassin's Creed Shadows hits 2 million players, puts it on track to be the series' most successful game yet. Fine, if you're basing it just on the metrics of how many hands, how many controllers, how many people have actually played the game, downloaded it to their computer, to their PlayStation or Xbox library, whatever, then if that's the metric they want to use, then fine. I don't know how you can call that a success if people actually aren't buying the game, but fair enough. Fine, that's the metric they're using. However, they do the exact same thing down here in this article, okay? It mentions the 1 million players in the first 24 hours. At least they don't say sales. But then you get down here, and this is something very fishy. In fact, Shadows is on track to be one of the biggest game releases of the year. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was hailed as a hit earlier this year and took 2 weeks to hit 2 million players. A milestone Shadows reached in
one of the biggest releases of the year? I don't see it. Like I really don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't see it as one of the biggest releases of the year. I think that really does go to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Just a few days. Do you see what they did here? Let me explain it to you if you don't quite understand what's going on. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not on any subscription service. It is studio, Warhorse Studio, that's more of an indie studio, although they are owned by Embracer now, so they do have more money to work with, but they are a smaller studio based in the Czech Republic that does not have 3,000 people working on their game, and they delivered a game that was purchased by over 2 million people in 2 weeks. Purchased, sales.
And Sean, I forgot to bring this up yesterday. Why does AC Shadows need two full hours of credits? A lot of it is just bloat. A lot of it is really just a lot of it's bloated, man. I forgot to bring that up, and I'm like, wait a minute, why would it need 2 full hours of credits? And what did it say? 3,000 people watching. 3,000.
Not 2 million players, 2 million sales. And yet PC Gamer is trying to spin the 2 million players narrative as if this is something where they're going to beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is by all accounts a far superior RPG. Yeah, and since they want to, compare numbers, Assassin's Creed Shadows on Steam, and I know, guys, people are like,
all the controversies and BS and stuff. KCD2 is a superior RPG than Shadows, and by every metric.
The Steam numbers again. I'm aware that most people are probably playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on console. The thing is, they're probably mostly playing it through Ubisoft Plus, which is why they're not paying full price for the game, which means that Ubisoft is not making the money back that they need to on this game. But based on Steam numbers alone, the peak on Steam over the weekend for Assassin's Creed Shadows in its opening weekend, they didn't quite hit 65,000 players. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 had a 67,700 player peak this weekend alone, a month after the game came out. There's no way you can spin this as a win for Ubisoft unless they start reporting actual sales numbers, because they have spent an immense amount of money, $250 to $350 million on Assassin's Creed Shadows. On the high end, they need to sell 7 to 10 million copies of this game to actually make money. And right now, they haven't reported a single million worth of sales, just 2 million players. And again, people want to argue about that on Twitter. It's like, here's the reality. You can love Ubisoft. You can hate Ubisoft. You can think the game is woke. You can think the game is amazing. You can enjoy it for all you want. I don't care. more power to you, or you can say it's the biggest piece of dog shit on the planet. But if we can't be honest and objective about these things and say, the fact of the matter is, these are not reported sales. The game needs to sell a certain number of copies to actually make money. This is just sad that we can't even have an honest, objective conversation about this and say, guys, words have meanings. If you don't understand the meanings of words, that's not my problem. It's not my fault. You're just going to have to figure out how to wrap your head around the fact that this game, if it does fail, is because they put it on Ubisoft Plus, and a lot of people said, you know what, I'll spend $15-16 on it for the month rather than fork over $70 and up. I mean, remember, the collector's edition of this game was, I believe, $130. Asinine for a game that you don't even get a physical release of. I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about this. And again, tomorrow night, Monday, we're not doing a regular stream. I'm going to be streaming through First Berserker. I'm really looking forward to this game. It should be a lot of fun. Hope to see some of you guys there, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, it's... I think Tebow makes a good point. It's like, when are we going to start having an honest conversation about the sales figures? And Ubisoft has not released the actual, real sales numbers yet. They just want to stout that it's 2 million players and counting, and it's like, yeah, 2 million is good, but then again, that's the caveat. Your game is free on Ubisoft Plus. Your game is free on Ubisoft Plus. Yes, so that's probably through subscriptions there. Free codes were given out. There were codes that were given out, review copies that were given out. So it's just trying to inflate those numbers, but that's just number of players. What about the sales, though? How much did it make? Because I assume that it's not going to be enough, because Ubisoft is in trouble. Ubisoft is in trouble, and you can't, and they really can't inflate those numbers here. They really can't. Because that's what I was expecting. People were speculating that the game had to make at least 5 million in overall sales for this game to be successful and to get its budget back. I don't even think they're going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to do that. It'll make some money, but it won't be enough. It just simply won't be enough. And to see so many people really try to step to bat over this is, some of it's really disingenuous. A lot of it is disingenuous, and some of it is just downright dishonest. Just to be honest with you, some of it is downright dishonest. Like the whole thing with the PC Gamer article, dishonest. And that's what I said. This is the Veilguard effect all over again. This is the Veilguard effect. I guarantee you Black Flag Remake, and I guarantee you Black Flag Remake is gonna Black Flag Remake is probably gonna do better than Shadows. The remake of a 10-year-old Assassin's Creed, 12-year-old Assassin's Creed title is gonna do better than their current title. I guarantee you that. Because Black Flag is what their quadruple A, their first quadruple A title, Skull and Bones, should have been. But Skull and Bones was on the back foot this entire time. Well, Skull and Bones been in development hell this entire time, honestly. It's the first quadruple A. Get the F out of here with that. You were so full of yourselves, man. I'm sorry. I got, there's a, I want to cover, I think for the 15, I want to cover Blizzard. I want to cover Blizzard and kind of the state of Overwatch 2, because Now I'm starting to kind of think more that, what I was covering last Sunday regarding Overwatch 2's Les Seraphim collaboration. I think it's them trying to course correct. I really do think Blizzard's trying to course correct here. They know they got their ass kicked by Marvel Rivals real bad. They're trying to overcompensate. It's like, I don't think even the Overwatch, even the Overwatch prawn is not going to save it this time. It's Marvel Rivals. They had to finish Skull and Bloskas the deal with Made the Country, otherwise they would have canceled it. Yeah! Skull and Bones has no reason to exist. Sorry. It's just good, Rich. Good morning, by the way. I'm sorry. My problem is like, really, you want to tout this as Ubisoft's first quadruple A? Like, are you so crap? Who are you trying to fool, Ubisoft? You got to think stupid. Oh man, I'm just thinking about all of this stuff with Ubisoft. I'm like, no offense, but you guys kind of deserve it. Like, you guys kind of deserve what's gonna come to y'all. Like, this is like abhorrent. I brought this up yesterday. Three of your freaking employees, three former leads at Ubisoft are on trial right now for, SA allegations, toxic, harassment, toxic workplace. Like, come on now. Like, having that shades of what happened with, Activision Blizzard back in 2021 when they were hit with a lawsuit, all the freaking allegations too. It's just the harassment towards the employees, the stolen breast milk apparently. The whole thing alleged one female employees that is taking her own life, allegedly, apparently, as well. He told me we're just like, we're seeing similar things with that with, Ubisoft. We're seeing those kind of like allegations and stuff like that too. It's like we're seeing like freak, man. Damn, now I think about it, I'm like, damn, the toxic positivity that was going on in Firewall Studio somehow is nicer by comparison. I don't know, man. I love this. I love gaming. I love gaming. I just hate the people in it. It's just corrupted. This industry is corrupted. I'm sorry. I think the future is going to be Indian Double A. Indian Double A are definitely going to lead the light the scandal. It's going to be the one lighting that forward. I just don't see it. AAA needs to seriously course correct before they. AAA, especially Western AAA, needs to course correct real quick before that imminent crash is going to happen even sooner. stupid that there's gonna be a crash. Toxic positivity and firewall from the league. Toxic positivity and firewall. Yeah, of course, calling gamers talentless freak. You know? Having one of your directors had to be referred to as the professor. A professor of what? Professor of what? Though? Oh god! You know what? It's such a funny thing about the thing like Firewalk, because after Firewalk Studio shut down, a good chunk of those guys, a good chunk of Firewalk devs moved on to other positions such as Halo and such like that. I'm like, oh no, you got ex-Concord developers working on other titles. Like, yeah, the nepotism is real. Like no joke, guys. The nepotism is real. The nepotism is real, man. Another thing, I saw the another thing. I was watching Just Some Guy the other day, and I was like, this is one of those. And you talk about Helldivers 2 and what was going on with DDC, and I'm like, you know what? This is the very reason why I don't, why I very much disagree with, very much, this is like stuff like the video I was watching yesterday. Is like, this is the exact this is probably one of the reasons why I really cannot, in good consciousness, put support behind or try to follow people like Grums, like Mark Kern. I understand he's done for the industry and stuff like that, but it's just, it sounds like he was jumping the gun, like really jumping the gun and doubling down on that. That's why I kind of refrain from citing Grums all the time. I'll admit to that. Just because I just really, really do not agree with him on everything. It's like, yeah, you kind of jumped in on it. This kind of funny thing is, like now, it's like, if I started to kind of just, I think I've started to just become very, I think I want to try to be a little bit more, kind of fall in line with Jay, try to be much more independent, try to be much more of an independent thought here, not trying to, because even I had a problem with the, yeah, we'll find after what's the price of great. I can't even call myself. I don't even call myself like anti-woke or anything. It's just spicy and that's like woke and stuff. Just try to be more pro common sense and shit like that. Like, it's crazy, man. It's something that's crazy. This whole industry is just crazy. And I agree, and I know. I was like, with Sean, I think Sean and a lot of Sean, so many other people, especially in our chat, are definitely more and more just like, listen, the East is taking over. Listen, the East is leading the charge now. It's like, I think any hope for the Western industry to like course correct and stuff like that, or actually understand their mistakes, is like lost. And I'm kind of with you on that one. I kind of with you on that one. Although it's just funny to see, the Western AAA market just completely step on that right. It completely pull a sideshow Bob, basically. Continuously pulling a sideshow Bob and constantly stepping on a rake all the time. In my humble opinion, it needs to go. In other words, we're just taking it back. Like I'm not really interested because I'm excited with the East and stuff like that. Like the only real game I'm really excited for is Stellar Blade's PC release. Basically, am I gonna get? I'm looking forward to Wu-Tang Fallen Feathers. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to Wu-Tang Fallen Feathers, and the more I look at Ananta, or what used to be Project Mugen, the more I look at Ananta, and I'm like, you know what? I may be willing to give an exception for Ananta if it really does hold my interest as a GTA style gotcha experience. Even then, it's crazy. It's crazy. Every major American cartoon '80s was made, but exactly. So taking this shit back. Exactly. Taking this shit back. I'm just saying, it's just saying, like this. I just don't think that. It just is that many. There really is not that many games I'm looking forward to this year. I think I'm just gonna probably just hold on to my back catalog. But as I said, Wu-Tang Fallen Feathers is definitely right up my alley. Of course, Stellar Blade's PC release. I feel like 6 playthrough right there. Man, it's. Yeah, you guys. I know you guys are excited for the Switch 2. But like I said, PS5 is my last console. PS5 is going to be the last console for me. I'm switching everything over to PC. I'm not. PS5 is going to be my last time I get a console. I buy a console. I'm just going PC. PC Master Race moving forward. Just because, like. I still got Cyberpunk. Dude. I still got Cyberpunk. I still got all of these free titles. And just, like, listen, after near 200 hours total of play of 2077, I am looking forward to Orion. I really am looking forward to Orion, but I also have to understand that this is CD Projekt Red, and let's be honest here, CD Projekt Red has definitely drank the Kool-Aid. Has definitely drank the Kool-Aid recently. So no telling how much identity politics and stuff like that they're going to try to really push into Orion, especially with the fact that you have Mary Kenny, who was stepping up the bat. One of the senior writers is Mary Kenny, who was stepping up the bat for the Sweet Babies last year. We'll see. They did course correct the series look in The Witcher 4, but then again, that just might be lighting or something like that. Disney stopped drawing, anime kept going. Yeah, that's true. Disney stopped drawing. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree with you on that, Sean. Disney doesn't just stop drawing. Damn, Sean, you going to that deep cuts, bro? What the hell? I do want to watch. I do want to watch Kyle's. We only got like another minute, but I do want to watch. I do want to watch Kyle's intro at least. I do want to watch Kyle's intro. And then we're gonna switch over to Hero Hey for the 15-minute break. I think by then I should be done with Ganguro. Yeah, Ganguro. Yeah. I like how we're getting deep with the scriptorial right now. I want to really get to the deep cut. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. I'm just like, damn, kind of getting to that. I want to put you back, man. I'm just saying. I don't want to get me in trouble. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Considering Ubisoft's current financial state right now, they wouldn't have enough funds to sue all of us anyway. they wouldn't have enough money to sue all of us anyway. Let's be honest. Considering Ubisoft's current state right now and how bad AC Shadows is doing, I mean, yeah, they ain't gonna be able to have that enough to try and sue all of us. All right, we're gonna take it to the bank. The time is up? We still got one more girl to do as we get to the end of this. Trying to get to the end of this grayscale right here. Okay, so let's set the long break, 15 minutes. First thing I want to play. I just want to play the intro, just because I'm very interested in the intro right now. And then I'm going to watch the rest of the video later. So I just want to watch the intro real quick.
Tone down the gore, surrender free copies, rent whore Hassan for wet sloppy toppy. Ubisoft only culture is mold. 1 million players, not copies sold. Beta testers emerge from my trenches. Breasty chesters urge coincidences. Execute Valnet flawless fatality. IGN in another fight with reality. Bobby Kotick lawsuit getting me hard. More graveyard cope for Kotaku retards. MGM exclude by race always. Disgrace in pronoun blackface. Mutahapu just cannot quit you, said Ubisoft too. Stop Findalo. Today's sponsor is a pyramid scan, sir. To all your questions, I've got the answer. Hide the dislikes and dissatisfaction. Try they them best to frame that reaction. Ships in the water, but they might take flight unpolished, but somehow glaring at night. Man, boy, love, consultant, exclusive. Abuse is fine, as long as it's inclusive. Keep your head down, cause you don't see nothing. Gay black samurai glaze a queer muffin. Yasuke Zegler synchronized flopping. Tesla derangement, no sign of stopping. Oh, they're the real terrorists and not the gamers? DEI slop might need that disclaimer. Pandering, lectures, Marxist, sneaking, vanguard, cult woke, handbook, leaking, claim their cancerous genre, defying Ubisoft, bankrupt, make them go crying. Drop your cup size so I can sing like Lionel. Swahili chinja, slaughter on vinyl. I guess force queer gay slop don't sell, so Cayello keep yapping like a chihuahua. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Copy and paste, no one has a clue. 2 delays for Outlaws number 2. Anti-consumer shill slurp a schlong. Ubisoft credits 2 hours long. Used to not owning, I will not buy. Pendulum swinging, culture rewinds. If you want favor, you will appeal. Once educated, they will not kneel.
That's good. That's good.
Hello, baby.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh man, I was thinking about that. So the developers of what was it? Life is Strange. I think it was Life is Strange. The recent Life is Strange. They got an award at GDC. However, they couldn't accept that award because the dev studio was laid off. I'm not kidding. Let me see. What was it? Life is Strange. Was it True Colors? Or I forgot what was it. But it at GDC. Double Exposure, and it got an award at GDC, but it didn't. But they couldn't get the they couldn't hand the award out because the developing studio behind Double Exposure was laid off. It was so weird. Videos, but there's one more video I do want to share. We got 11 minutes of our break, so I love this.
As you guys surely know, Marvel Rivals has been killing it, and Overwatch 2 has been essentially doing the opposite, killing itself, if anything. Even just taking a brief look at analytics over on SteamDB, we can see Overwatch 2 with a 23% rating and 35K in-game as recording. In comparison to Rivals, 79% rating and 150K in-game as recording. Rivals is a game that I am thoroughly enjoying, but of course it does have its own problems. It's not a perfect game. Regardless, it's doing significantly better than Overwatch 2. And given Overwatch 2's own struggles on top of Rivals' massive success, it seems like Blizzard is getting increasingly desperate. You see, for years now, Blizzard has been attempting to appeal to the modern audience types, and it looks like Blizzard is starting to have some big regrets about that. It's really interesting because with Overwatch 1, they did have some attractive characters in-game, but the modern audience types they were trying to cater to ended up complaining about that. For example, all the way back in 2016, Blizzard had this victory pose going on with Tracer, but certain types of individuals, you know the type, began to complain about this, saying it's problematic, that she's overly sexualized, you know, all that sort of really...
By the way, those were complaints from one person on the forums. That was complaints from one person on the forum, by the way. Complaining about it's over-sexualized and they don't want their daughter playing a character with a pose like that and shit. I'm like, that is pathetic. Like, absolutely pathetic.
I'm offended about everything sort of rhetoric. And so ultimately, Blizzard decided to capitulate to those people and remove that victory pose. We'll talk much more about how Blizzard is starting to regret having catered to those sort of people for years. Before we do, a message about a game that embraces its attractive characters that I think you guys will appreciate. Big thanks to Girls Frontline 2 Exilium for sponsoring this video. Girls Frontline 2 Exilium is a popular 3D strategy RPG for both PC and mobile. In-game, you'll collect... Consider checking out Girls Frontline 2 Exilium with the link in the description or pinned comment or the QR code on screen and enjoy. We left off discussing how Blizzard began to pander more and more to the modern audience types, and Overwatch went from a game where those types were complaining about sexualized characters to a game where posts like this were prevalent, fast forwarding now to 2022. On the Blizzard forums, this post, for example, reading, "Is Overwatch the only game with non-sexualized female characters?"
What?
I hope I can say that word in the title. But it's quite interesting thinking about why we have such a great and large LGBTQ community. And now fast forwarding to May 30th, 2023, after the release of Overwatch 2, and the first Pride Month occurring after Overwatch 2's release, Blizzard made this official post that reads, "Celebrate Pride in Overwatch 2, bragging about their inclusivity for Overwatch 2, or what you could really just call rainbow capitalism." For example, they wrote, beginning on June 1st, everybody that logs into Overwatch 2 will receive an extensive collection of profile player icons and name cards, celebrating the many diverse identities that make up the tapestry of this fantastic community. The full list of cosmetics can be found below. Name cards allow you to choose how you identify within the game, and you'll notice specific ones dedicated to some of our LGBTQ+ heroes. You'll find a lesbian card for Tracer, a gay card for Soldier 76, a pansexual card for Lifeweaver, as well as a bisexual card for Baptist and a lesbian card for Farah. For years, players have speculated on the sexual orientations of Baptist and Farah, and we are thrilled to not only include them in these Pride cosmetics, but also publish a brand new short story focusing on their identities, each other, and themselves. And once again, fast forwarding, that takes us to just about a week ago when we saw headlines going around talking about Overwatch 2 launching another collab with Les Seraphim. For example, Pirate Nation captioning the news saying, "Overwatch 2 is getting its Korean devs to spruce up its female characters, obviously because of Marvel Rivals." We can see a response from Madam Savvy saying, "Let me help you out, Overwatch. You can get all the Asians you want to completely redesign characters. That isn't going to help. You took away fun and focused on all the wrong things. You retconned lore to pander, and you censored the ever-living heck out of your game. Adding back loot boxes, ondoing every change, and doing nostalgia mode isn't going to save you. You burnt your goodwill. It's gone."
Yeah, they did. And I do think that with Overwatch, they did burn their goodwill. Especially they did with me. They did burn their goodwill with me. And it's just, I used to be really big into Overwatch too. I still, like, I'm looking at the art book, this big ass art book that is sitting on my shelf right now. I'm staring at it right now, and it's like, yeah, what could have been? But I was really big into Overwatch at that time. So
no one new picks up your game and everyone is no one new picks up your game and everyone is leaving. It's called moving on from that bad X.
True.
You have people who hate gamers working there. You have to make everything safe. It doesn't work like this. You can't just add something sexy and think that'll save you. Now, if someone comes out and says, we were wrong to pander, here's transparency on what happened, that would work. But you'll never do that. The pride of your ideology won't let you. The pride of your activist staff won't let you. And I will never go back to Overwatch.
Okay. For that, just for that statement alone, Savvy, you deserve a Don DeMarco. Yeah, that's a Don DeMarco right there. It's a Don DeMarco right there. But yeah, it's so much truth to that. It's like you just can't add something sexy and think that will save you. And if you try to pander, if you try to be open up and actually be honest about what's going on behind the scenes, you're too infused in your own ideology to allow to be able to be honest, you know?
But here's where things get really interesting, because certain Overwatch 2 fans are attempting to defend Blizzard here. Their argument is essentially that Blizzard has actually collabed with Le Seraphim before being specifically back in October 2023. In other words, before Marvel Rivals was even released. And so they're saying that Blizzard isn't concerned about Rivals, and this whole collab has nothing to do with Rivals at all. But when you actually take a look at the previous collab with Le Seraphim and compare it to the new collab, there's some huge differences with the collabs. For example, the new one does seem to show the characters in a much more attractive light, while the first one did have that sort of safe feel that Madam Savvy was talking about, and if anything even looks a bit awkward at times. I'll show you specifically what I mean. And by the way, for those that don't know, Le Seraphim is a South Korean music group. So in the collab from 2023, we can see part of the animation here. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but just take note of the outfits and take note of some of the things that the girls are doing. For example, this just seems awkward. Maybe maybe you agree or disagree, but this is just I don't know, it just looks weird and awkward to me. But okay, anyways, those are some examples of the first collab from 2023 as mentioned. But now we'll take a look at the brand new collab, and you can instantly see, first off, they have this style they're going with that's supposed to be more of an anime theme style. And it's very interesting how the characters are dressed in more revealing ways this time than they were in the first collab. True. And given all that's been going on with Overwatch 2 and Blizzard, this really doesn't seem like coincidence. Yeah, in my opinion, at least, it's a pretty stark difference. The first one has this safe westernized feel, and now Blizzard is pretty clearly trying to change all that in the second collab. Hopping back over to Madam Savvy's post, let's check out some of the comments and see what some of the other people are saying. We saw an Overwatch defender.
Good point.
Here are some other comments, though. Eldritch Bogart saying, the game died when they stopped producing good cinematics. It was the canary to let us know that they thought they were able to coast on player goodwill and change the game any way they please, and the players would still support it. Steven saying, and this is why I love competition. Free markets mean the consumer wins. Darth Vader saying, I used to love playing Overwatch back in the day. I had gold weapons for D.Va, Reaper, and McCree. Mark XZ saying, still remember they add DI stats to every character, and every one of them have to be marginalized in one way. It is stupid. Aaron Darklord saying they literally have to contract good designs out to another continent because there's probably no one in their office who's physically and psychologically capable of drawing them if asked to, and they'd get months of tantrums and malicious complaints.
You know that thing. You know this one right here. I think that alludes to what Sean was saying. That pretty much is a microcosm of what Sean was saying right there. I think Sean, if you're still listening, I think that comment alone kind of proves your point.
Brimstone saying, they also flat out lied to players. The PvE feature was scrapped and was a big part of the game going forward. It was just scrapped. And the last one we'll take a look at is this one from LC that reads, as someone who sunk hours and hours into Overwatch and even spent a good amount of time on Overwatch 2, I agree. I won't be going back. So let me know what you think. Do you think Blizzard can possibly recover goodwill? Of course, they might be concerned if they start undoing some of the stuff they've been doing for years that they might upset the modern audience types that are still left. Sounds like they've got themselves in quite a mess. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. If you think Blizzard can fix all this somehow or not. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.
I think what it was I think what it is that just simply wait, what? Excuse me, what?
Now, Nikkei is this game that comes from the same company that did Stellar Blade. It's a Korean game that probably horrifies the likes of Melanie Mac. And I finished it. You know, I liked it. I picked it up and I finished it. I got all the way till the end of the story. I collected most of the characters that I liked, did some really powerful teams, played some PvP. It was fun. And I didn't spend almost any money with it. Like, I think I spent like $50 just because I felt that the game gave me enough entertainment. And that was that. So I haven't picked it up in a while. And suddenly I hear, V, did you hear about the new Nikkei they added, which has cellulitis?
Okay,
and I like
okay.
A Nikkei.
Someone, I think that was Eli. I think it was Eli who brought this up to me yesterday. I thought he was referring to Trina, which is the newest Trina, which is the newest Nikkei that dropped in this event. Are you referring to Trina, Eli?
That has cellulitis? Like, this is fantasy. In fantasy, cellulitis doesn't exist because fantasy is unattainable, you know? Like, fantasy is like talking about the legends of Olympus. Artemis doesn't have cellulitis. Hera doesn't have cellulitis. Like, they all have perfect bodies and big tits. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Why would they put cellulitis in the video game called Nikkei Goddess of Victory? Have they got brain damage from the Americans? Like, have they went into the United States and hired some people there to work at Shift Up? Like, what is going on? Why would it have cellulitis? And then I see the design. And apparently, yeah, like, this is a plus-size Nikkei. And I think her backstory is that she's a chef. She likes to cook. And she likes to eat a lot of sweets. So she's got a little bit of pudge. Right? It's on the plus size.
Okay, slow down. Whoa. Okay,
and if you zoom into her belly, yeah, no, there's cellulitis there. So the artist actually added cellulitis on the character. And you know what's hilarious? People actually like it. Like, she's actually now one of the most liked Nikkeis out of the bunch.
Okay,
and this is like mind-blowing for two different reasons. Number one, this is something that I was struggling to tell Nikkei.
Next update. Okay, she's gonna be next update. Who is
sweets?
Is her name Brady? Let me check. Hold on. I just want to take a look. Yep. Oh, her name is Brady. So this is the new one. Let me take a look. She can pick up fine details, everything you eat, ingredients, nutrients, sub flavors. Did you bring the food? Can I have some? So Eleg is not the so Eleg got some competition now. Eleg used to be like the plus. So here's the thing. Let me show you Eleg real quick. Hold on a second. Just wait. Just let me cook. Let us stay here. First off, Eleg used to be the plus size here. Okay, Eleg used to be the plus size Nikkei. Okay, she is the one with the pokeable tummy. Tummy. You mean to tell me that now Eleg's got some competition? You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me that we got some? Nikkei bringing some. You mean to tell me? And they somehow bring another plump girl in this game, and yet the internet is fawning over her. Is that what I'm getting at? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this because I'm laughing at this because I said this a while back. I said this a while back in regards to First Ascendant. I said this a while back. The West are so like the West are so like you know how the West is when it comes to like we talked about this with when it came to Dragon Age of Veilguard and stuff like that. I'm gonna okay, I'm gonna put this in the back burner. I'm gonna put this in the back burner back video for our next 5-minute break. But let's get into this. I'm gonna talk about this real quick. So Brady, Brady, cellulitis. So we got another plump one. Okay, I'm laughing at this because I said this a while back in regards to the First Ascendant. You could do, and I think it just shows kind of the influence of the strength of the East in a way. I think a lot of this shows the influence of how strong the East is. And you know, when you have the West, when you have a lot of the Western titles, and we talked about this with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the fact that they promoted, and the fact that the West promoted so much on, or the fact that with the Veilguard. Okay, let me bring this up. Okay, so with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the character creation was one of the bigger controversies because it had a bust and breast slider that was still flat. That if you max it out, the character, your female rook, was still flat. Was still looking flat. It's still like they still like had negative A cups, basically. However, the big selling point on the character creator with Dragon Age: The Veilguard was promoting, you know, having top surgery scars, cellulitis, you know, vitiligo, you know, having, you know, vitiligo sliders and such like that. And I remember saying this back when with regards to how popular the First Descendant was that the East, if what the East needs to do, if like with First Descendant, I was like, the only thing the First Descendant really needs to really set off a character, to set off the West and stuff like that, is to make a black female descendant, to make an attractive black female character as a descendant. And you could watch the meltdowns. You could watch the people absolutely melting down over this. The reason I'm bringing this up to Nikkei, because it's like, if Shift Up were to release a character, Shift Up is not releasing a character with cellulitis, basically. And yet she is now one of the most popular Nikkeis out there. Think about what would happen if, say, like an Eastern developed title, a popular Eastern gacha game or something like that, released a character with vitiligo. It would immediately become possible. If one of the DKs ends up having vitiligo at some point, and yet there's still an attractive design, it would be like, it would just show that, like, okay, it really is the mindset here, because you look at Brady, I think that's her name is, and it's clear that she's not. It's clear that design wasn't made or intended for cellulitis. They clearly wanted to play with the theme of bread and like bread dough and a bakery and such like that. So why not make a more fatter character, more plumper character, someone who's much more plumper than the leg is? Like it actually works though. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, like, you could put something, like, you could do if you want to put in, say, a character with this kind of like ability, this kind of like skin condition or whatever, you're free, you're totally free to make it in your power. But if you can make it appealing though, if you can make an appealing design, because people are looking at Brady right now and they find that design very appealing. But actually, it's like it's an appealing design, though. Like, even if they did even if they did I guarantee you this, in the understanding knowing what Shipped Up is capable of, and knowing what a lot of these gotcha games are capable of, if they out and out made a say like a trans character as a gotcha in a gotcha game, you don't think that he or she would be incredibly appealing? It would be incredibly popular and appealing because I think it really does prioritize. I think because it really kind of heightens what Sean is saying, in that the East really does prioritize good and appealing character design first. Play to that, and the thing is you don't know about Nikkei, and because me and Eli play Nikkei all the time, is that Nikkei. Well, that's a no, but you get what I'm saying, though. It's like prioritizing good character design first, prioritizing appealing. They would somehow make that design appealing. They would make a character. They make a character with like vitiligo or like cellulitis. They would somehow make that appealing. They would make that very appealing, basically. Like, it's that whole thing. I remember that stupid. What was that stupid thing with what was their name? Shit Spout, who worked on Dustborn, bragging about masculine men knitting and making sexy non-binaries. I'm like, how is that possible? That's a real quote, by the way. And I'm like, okay, so you give us a character with cellulitis, and yet that is and that character is very popular now. And they do prioritize appeal, basically. That's what I was trying to say, Sean. And that's what I said with the first Descendant. I was like, you really want to set people off? Make a black female. Oh, Descendant, basically. And I would go out of my way with Mika. I wouldn't ask for that, but it would be such a surprise if we get down the line they somehow are able to make a black female Nikkei and make that incredibly appealing. Like, the thing is that you can make that stuff appealing. You can make that stuff work. It's like, compared to what we get out of the West is such like that. Counterpoint, Samurai, do not appeal to America. Exactly. It's like the whole thing. You know what? It's like the whole thing why Sakurai is being praised right now for some of his recent comments saying that, Japanese games and Eastern games should not prioritize trying to appeal to the West. It should prioritize, if it's a Japanese game, it really should, Japan should be their first target. And, and I think Sakurai also comes from an understanding that the West, Sakurai comes from an understanding that, we as Westerners here, as Western players and such like that, we like, stuff from Japan because it's different, unlike us. It's because it's Japanese. We wouldn't want. I guarantee you you talk to any Joe Schmo on the street, and you can tell them that and show them pictures of, say, like a Western developed character versus Eastern developed character, and 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to side with the Eastern developed character because it looks more appealing to them. And the thing is that it also comes into, it brings back into that basic kind of understanding that why, okay, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it goes back to the very reason why a lot of us grew up loving anime. A lot of us grew up loving anime because, it's cool. It's appealing. It's from a culture that is different to what we usually see here. You know, when stuff tries to appeal to the Western, when you have Eastern stuff trying to appeal to Western sensibilities, I think you lose a bit of that soul because we as Westerners like like the stuff from the East because it's different from us because it's Eastern. We like anime for what it is. We like these Eastern games for what it is. We like this Eastern content for what it is. And that could be extended to everywhere else. We like specific kinds of content for what it is. Think of it this way. Think of it this way. Put it in action movie terms. One of the most popular action films, one of the most well talked about action films, was an Indian film called R&R. And I'm like, Indian people love Indian and Bollywood cinema because it's different, because Bollywood is different, because Indian, especially Indian action films, are different. It's over the top. It's exciting. We like that for what it is. It shouldn't be appealing to Western sensibilities, or I should say, Western sensibilities should be the last thing on its mind. Like Fist of the North Star, what I was doing exactly. We like black. Sean. So many people love Black Myth Wukong because it's an Eastern developed title. It's well crafted and it's steeped in Chinese mythology with Journey to the West. That is very intriguing. Guarantee you, if Black Myth Wukong was to capitulate to the Rebecca Valentines out there who are making those slanderous hit pieces, which I think Rebecca Valentine probably should have been fired after that whole ordeal, in my humble opinion. But if it was to capitulate to the demands of the IGN journalists, though, the Ki-Hoon Chans, the racist translators and such like that, to appeal to Western sensibilities, Black Myth Wukong would not have been the hit that it is now. I think that in the same case, in the same case with this Brady character Nikke, I think that might be the same case though. You created an appealing looking character who happened to have cellulitis, and people are fawning over her now. So I think it's just like, putting really good design first, and really appealing design first too. And one thing I also forgot about that, and one thing I always find funny, that it's another Nikke that is going to get popular because, myself and Eli, we play Nikke all the time. And what you guys don't know is that Nikke loves to make fun of otaku culture. Like they have there's so many different characters that are like different spoofs on otaku culture and stuff like that. And it loves to make fun of itself too. And it likes to be fourth wall breaking at times. Almost like even more so than how, we used to see with Senran Kagura, I thought. But yeah, people love that. And people love that. People are I'm in on the joke and such like that. And it kind of shows that it kind of shows a lot of the cleverness of the developers and stuff like that. Do I think Brady was made some kind of low key against Western sensibilities? No, I think it's just they had an idea for a character. They had an idea for a character because they were probably and they probably did their research. Well, okay, they definitely did their research. They had an idea for a character. They thought it would look. They thought, okay, how can we make this idea look really appealing? Really appealing to us. Really, really appealing to us. How would you take something with a very much a bakery, a bread motif, and that's how they did it. So it's almost like ideology and activism didn't even cross their mind. It was just, let's just make an appealing character based around this idea, and let's see what we can create. And I think that's the mindset you should be having. You know, I kind of spin that with Overwatch 2 and stuff like that, where it seemed that with a lot of the designs, ideology was first and foremost. Sensibilities was first and foremost. I always bring up Tosh and Veilguard, but it is that same thing where it was clear that ideology was first and foremost. Making a self-insert, basically. Self-inserts. We're seeing a lot of that. You know? I guarantee you, if Shift Up, and you look at not just Shift Up, but even Hoyoverse, say like Hoyoverse for another big gacha game, say like Girls Frontline 2 or something like that, coming out with an Eastern studio, coming out with a character like Jordan Munn in Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, they would have nailed that. I do think that they would have somehow take the shaven head and make it work. It actually would have worked somehow. I just get the sense that it's like you're pushing look at let's put it this way. Sean, Eli, guys, if you're listening, put it this way. What if Shift Up made Concord? Think about it. What if Shift Up made Concord? What if Hoyoverse made Concord? What if an Eastern studio made Concord? You missed a lot, Jay. You missed a lot, actually. You may want to have to rewind. But think of it in that sense. What would have happened? I'm honest question. I'm asking everyone in the chat. What would have happened if it was an Eastern studio that made Concord with those kind of character designs? Jay would say it would have been sold out, full house. Yeah, it would have sold like gangbusters. Because they would have taken a character. They would have taken those characters like Baz, like Imari, like the freaking robots. We could probably ignore the inclusion of pronouns, and somehow it still would have been appealing. It would have been fun, not just appealing. It would have been fun. I understand that, Grumpy, but what I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying, though. They would have made those characters fun, like characters that you actually want to play as, characters that you actually want to check out. You actually want to play with. Like, look at Marvel Rivals. How well Marvel Rivals is doing. It goes back to Marvel Rivals because Marvel Rivals, they really, really did put the focus on making the best looking versions of these Marvel heroes is the best way they could. They took the Marvel heroes, the iconic heroes, and made them look the best way they can. And it wasn't just the females looking great. No, Marvel Rivals is one of those where every single character looks fantastic. Every single one. Like, it works. Like, they really, really did strengthen on solid character design. And I think Marvel Rivals has that. You take a look at Nikkei. It's like, okay, yeah, it is appealing to the otakus. It's appealing to the heavy on fan service, and yet there's still very appealing character designs. They always seem to release like a Hoyoverse game. They always release new characters, especially new female characters, that get so much fan art. And I mean so much fan art. And that is... And I think that just comes down to the general kind of mindset and the general kind of culture that you see in Eastern countries, where making appealing designs has to factor in somehow, like South Korea, for example. fashion and appeal is a big thing for South Korea. Really following this idol group, following, kind of an idol style, basically. So that they're going to focus on making not just like the sexiest or most attractive, but just making the best looking, most appealing designs they could come up with. And I think that what I'm looking at with Nikkei is that what I'm looking at with this Brady character Nikkei is that they focused on putting they focused on making an appealing design. They focused on making a really good, fun design over everything else, despite the fact that Brady appears to have cellulitis, and it does make me wonder, what if it was an Eastern studio who did what if they released a character what if they released a Nikkei with vitiligo? What if they released a character? It would be appealing. I think it's just because that's what they focused on first. They was focused on what works. It doesn't have to be overly sexualized. It just has to be generally appealing. Something that makes you want to play that character, makes you want to explore who that character is, And I think that I look at that and I'm like, they can clearly do. And I was like, okay, so with a leg at first, I'm like, okay, so we got plump girl representation. They can actually do plump really well. Girls really well. They can quote unquote, they can do fat girls really well. Really well. They can somehow take a fat girl and make it appealing. And it's just like, I'm wondering if they prioritize good character design first before. It's just, I think that's what they prioritize first, Like there's supposed to be there's a character with, and they do base their characters, a lot of gacha games, they base their characters on motifs. They base it on aesthetics, basically. For example, whatever that new character that Riot Kitty wanted me to share on yesterday's show, they had, so she's a big character, so she's a large character, so it's obvious that they're focusing on a bull like cow motif. They want to play with that kind of aesthetic. So it's like, naturally, if you're making like a bull or a cow motif, they're going to make a large character with horns and such like that. Especially if you have a cow aesthetic, you're going to, especially if you're going for a cow aesthetic or a steer aesthetic, then your character is going to naturally be very, very voluptuous, because cows. A cow, basically. It's not an insult. It's just saying that's clearly part of the motif. That's clearly part of the idea. It's like, okay, so you have this character who's meant to be a cow, so meant to kind of has the aesthetics of a cow, so naturally they're going to have very large breasts. So makes sense. I'm just saying. I don't think we should be praising cellulite, knowing what cellulite will be able to do what these characters do. There's a suspension of disbelief, and I think is also, but also think is that Neek, and I also think that I don't think that it was focused on. That's what I'm saying with Brady, though, Grumpy. I don't think it was the focus on like, oh, we need this characters need to have cellulitis first. Like, no, it was clear from their motif that it's supposed to be bready. So they're thinking bread, they're thinking a bakery. Okay, they want to make a chef, and they're going to make her fat, basically. And yet somehow they made it work. And yet they make it work. They make it appealing, though. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, just kind of putting their priorities in the right place. Like, okay, can we take this idea and make it work? Can we take this idea and make it appealing? Can we take this aesthetic, take this motif and make it appealing? Make it what would be appealing to. Also, what I see is, Can we see Brady? Yeah. Give me 1 second. See, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I really do hope you guys understand what the point I'm trying to make here. We only got 1 minute left. Okay. So we got 1 minute left. No, but I really do hope you guys understand the point I'm trying to make here, though. So I'll show it to you guys on the during our 5-minute break. I'll play video. I'll play V's video. Voluptuous is not flat or having cellulite, though. I agree. Yeah, right. But you get what I'm saying. She's plump. She's got she probably has a pokeable tummy. Yeah. It's cute. It's like, yeah, it's really cute. It's like, okay, you have okay, but I hope I'm kind of making my point clear here. Okay, so let me turn on. I'm gonna go 5-minute break. We'll do a 5-minute break, and then I'm gonna show the video. Okay. Okay, so this is Brady. This is the character that's supposed to be. You're supposed to have. Yeah, she has stretch marks. So she has cellulite. She has stretch marks. As you can see down here, that she does have stretch marks. So, yet somehow they made it appealing and gave her cellulitis because of the way the shading. Yeah, clearly she has stretch marks. So she is definitely on the plump spectrum. I feel like this would be another mama bear. Mama bear would appeal. I need to show. I'm probably going to show this to Mama Bear next Sunday. Presented popular. If it's a joke that needs to come across as such, take it something to make something out of it is fine. I get that. Right. It's just, I think it just hits kind of on that chef approach. I think it kind of plays that approach. But this is Brady's design, and I like it. It's cute. It's yeah. Although I do agree that you do want to tread lightly when it comes to. I rate this a Jamaican out of 10. Listen, man. I'm just saying that it does show kind of the talent and the kind of like the power of like the talent power of like an Eastern studio pulling this off. And I'm just saying that they're clearly capable of pulling something like this off and making it work. So let's go back to Beard. Yeah, she's hitting a lot of those. No. Yeah, she's plus size. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And pudgy and let's be honest here. And let's be honest here. That's a trope. That is a trope. Pudgy characters are always you see always pudgy girls all the time in a lot of the gotcha games, a lot of anime in general. Oh, that's just that's a trope. So Okay. Grumpy, Grumpy, we're gonna get into a long discussion because what you just said, you can apply that to at least half the roster. You can apply that to at least half the roster. Okay. Here. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, so Grumpy wants to. Grumpy, I ain't trying to put you out in place, man. I'm just saying. I completely understand what you're saying, but you would have to. Oh shit! Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta put that. Oh, sorry. I gotta bring that. Let me. I have to bring that up. Oh, okay. We'll play
Goodness
this
gracious.
later.
A Nikkei that has cellulitis, like this is fantasy.
Okay.
In fantasy,
but I just need to show Grumpy something real quick. I'm gonna get Nikkei up and going. Okay. Because Grumpy, I understand what you're saying, but you're going to have to apply that to at least half the roster. You're going to have to apply to at least half the roster, though. But the thing is, Nikkei is, it is escapism. It is fantasy. So it is fantasy. It's sci-fi. It's post-apocalyptic. It's things, But I'm just saying, you would have to apply that. Like what you're saying, I get what you're saying. It's just you would have to apply that to at least half the roster. Half the roster has the same token. By that same token, Ray needs armor, equipment, basement, serum, magical pendant, something to explain her being physically active or remaining fat. And also, other thing to keep in mind, Grumpy. They're not humans, though. They're not humans. These girls are actually robots. they're all robots, actually. The thing with Nikkeis is that they're all android. They're all cyborgs. So they are all robotic. So I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you. So. But it seems Brady is the next. Brady's the next banner. So it'll be interesting. I got Trina already. So because I do want to just share. I just want to share real quick my the roster I have, and for what Grumpy is saying, you're gonna have to apply that to at least half the roster, though. Because none of them are dressing according. Because at least half this roster is not dressing appropriately or having appropriately equipment to fight off an alien, a catastrophic alien invasion, though. Okay, if they're androids or robots, then it's a plausible question. Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to say. Hey, they're not. it's robot waifu saving the world. Okay, it's like Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade. It's like Girls Frontline 2. Dolls. I would say they're basically dolls, but it's like Girls Frontline 2, Nikkei's lore is actually Girls Frontline 2 has very deep lore, and Nikkei is really, really good lore as well, and it's really good story too. It actually kind of makes sense. A lot of it really does make sense. It's like I said, I always bring back to Nikkei where I say come for the plot, and you end up staying for the plot. Because you're really invested in the characters throughout. So. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait until the update goes up. But but also the other thing, and like I said, with Nikkei, they do a lot of their designs. They really, really like playing on. They really do play on. They know their audience very well, and they do like to make fun of otaku culture. And they really do a good job at it. Like I think, what happened last year, I think has to be one of the best April Fool's jokes I've ever seen. They did an entire event which was one big April Fool's prank, and it was so well made. I'm like, bro, that is awesome. I got freaking involved. Because it started off with them messing the main menu screen. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Freak! I can't change my main menu screen. But then it goes into this whole side story where you take like one of the most unlikable characters in the entire game and make them playable, basically. And it's so hilarious how much of a stuck-up bitch Suyen is that she has to now basically do what Nikke's do all the time. Does she get an understanding of how, you know, maybe you should treat your Nikke's much better? No, she doesn't learn a lesson. But it was really funny to see Shifty. It was funny to see Shifty take part as part of your communications, like communications campaign on missions and stuff like that. And she got to get in on the action too, and it was really cool. It was really cool how they did the whole April Fool's prank. It was really, really well done, I gotta say. So. Someone actually get commissioned Charlie Gold. But it could be the case. But Nikke's got a deep lore in that most Nikke's are not built from scratch. These are young women in their late teens, early 20s, who by all accounts had to be reborn as Nikke's, or had to undergo experimentations to become fully robotic and such, while still attaining human traits of that. So you got 2 days left in this inning. Okay, like I said, I hear you, Grumpy. That's the reason I'm highlighting your comment, is I hear you. Yeah, I'm not with Bread. Bread cannot do what Nikke's do while being fat. At least she carries is okay, but Nikke activities are beyond their reach, without an explanation. Like explains, Bready needs armor, equipment, Bane, Venom serum, magical pendant, something to explain her being physically active while remaining fat. Let me just go through the entire roster here. This is the Nikke's I got.
Thank you for awakening me. Because of
if you want to go in for,
to rewrite our story.
They were human, yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing what we'll do together.
When you look at most of them, practicality.
I'm always thinking of something.
I get the practical argument, but at least half this roster isn't completely practical.
Being helped by you feels.
I'm just saying, they were human, yes.
You can only buy this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, a good chunk of them.
May blessings and hope be upon everyone.
They are cyborgs, basically. It's just, yeah, they would transfer to you.
I like you, Commander. Way more than Rappy.
It's like a lot of the designs go into, much more heavy into sci-fi, more into anime tropes. A lot of them do have armor. A lot of them don't have armor. It works though. It works. It's like,
you must never betray me.
I'm just saying, and like in one sense you could throw practicality out the window, but also in that same sense, that actually some of that actually does make sense. With the design and such, actually makes sense in a way. Yeah, for example, Viper, not practical. Rappy's very practical combat attire. Exactly. I'm just saying.
A kiss with a coffee aftertaste. I can see myself getting addicted to that.
It's futuristic. See, I'm just saying. I'm going through the entire arsenal here. I'm going through the entire, and that's not even getting to the different skins for some of the characters too. For some of the girls, though. I'm just saying. You would have to say that to a lot. You would have to really say that about a lot of girls, though. I'm just saying.
Commander,
Pepper.
work is important.
Pepper's just got a freaking sweater on, and despite the fact that, right? Yeah, she's a nurse, and also she's a nurse.
Also a kind of work,
Vesty. I'm just saying. What I said previously, they were talking representation. Say, wait, Vapor is as frozen as you were. See how it works? I gotcha. I'm not trying to put you on spot, Grumpy. I'm just saying. And these are the Nikke's that I have, by the way. This is the Nikke's that I have, and it's ordered by power. And yes, they are all combat ready. They are all combat ready, basically.
I wish you and I could stay on the surface and simply drift like the breeze.
So Jay, you're right, and Grumpy, you're kind of right. I'm just saying, it's all, yeah. This is big.
Teacher, what do you say we go?
Like, for
eat
example,
some
like
cake
Tia
together?
probably falls into more of the plump care category. Tia probably falls into more of the plump category.
When I'm around you, Pit Boss, I'm not
Noir
embarrassed about
falls
how I
into the
look.
incredibly curvy category. Like they really do.
What would you like to eat, Master?
I'm like, some of them is like, okay, clearly your bodies are not meant for combat use, but then again, this ain't real, so it's just. I'm just saying. It's just, I have so many. I collect so many of these. Like I said, DK is so generous with their pulls too, and I'm just like
I think being a thief
freaking
suits
just
me.
getting
Maybe I
SSRs
should
like
just
it's
consider a
nothing.
career switch.
Getting like it's nothing. I'm just saying, the element of practicality is not kind of the kind of thing you should be figuring out. You know what I mean? I can't stat fat without becoming much muscle soldier DJ. Yeah, exactly. Some can be able to probably
It's a
able
bit
to take.
odd only wearing half a mask, but I like it.
I'm just saying, it's different levels, different cultures. Like, I would say a good chunk of these isn't completely practical for in a real life situation.
This
I'm just
converter
saying.
feels so constricting around my neck. I'm sure.
Just going through my entire squad, yeah. It's like Earthquake. It's not possible. I'm just saying that they can I want to say absolute though. I want to say absolute just because like I have all four absolute members as like part of my strong team some way. Emma's like one of my strongest girls, by the way. It's like one of the strongest girls. Second is Yunhua. Emma, then Red Hood Rappy. Yunhua Rappy. Like they're all at the top though. I guess I had that attraction to. I got to be honest, it has to be absolute.
If you're ever in danger,
And that
just
sucks
let me know
because
and
there's
I'll
so
take
many
care of it.
designs that I absolutely love and adore, but they're all from different factions though. I can't really like exactly what's my favorite faction, but I would have to say absolute just because I grew up with them, because I trust just because of how much they're at the top of the team, and just because I've been able to kind of resonate with so many of the characters, especially Rappy. But yeah, I'm just saying. But the thing is, I love that they play on like different elements of otaku culture, and they really do make fun of it. And they really go all in on it with really how fun that the designs are. It's really fun. Even the lower tier characters have very unique, very interesting, very fun designs too. And it's like, man, you can't turn them into SSRs in some way, but they do. Like even the standard dolls, they are very interesting. And I would say the standard dolls are probably much more.
Son. I refuse to answer any questions.
Like I would say, argue that the standard dolls probably have much more of a practical look. Too.
I am Soldier FA from Elysian. Nice to
It's just you get to the real unique ones. That's when they get to the top of them. So as you said, Red Hood's back.
I'd love to hear any music recommendations you have.
Red Hood's back though. So, but yeah, Red Hood's my strongest one. So, for good reason. Red Hood's my strongest one. Red Hood Rappy. Like at least what? 1, 2, 3. Like 1, 2, 3. Vesti and Rappy. Like I got all absolute members at the freaking. Most of my absolute members are at the freaking top, and I think the second faction is likely just Pilgrim. I would say probably my second favorite faction is likely Pilgrim, because I realize that I have a good chunk of Pilgrims as my a good chunk of the Pilgrims as my as part of my stronger team as well. Even some of the some of the, like I said, they have some of the OG. My strongest Nikes are part of the OG. I got the OG Goddess Squad. Cinderella, Red Hood, Cinderella, Scarlet, Black Shadow, Scarlet, Rapunzel, first appearance Rapunzel. Yeah, these are OG Goddess Squad members as part of the official team. I would have to say Absolute, but Goddess Squad I have so much love for, and of course the Pilgrims I have so much love for. I got a good chunk of the Pilgrims too. The Pilgrims as well. So I love it. I love the deep lore behind it. But no, I can't. It's really hard for me to pin down what is my favorite design of all, because there's so many of them. I have too many favorites. Like favorites, but very cool. Well, not fat. But here's the thing. Before Brady, it was a leg. A leg's like leg was really.
Gets the point across better than the boomstick.
But the thing is, a leg probably fits more into the plump category than completely fat, though. A leg is more plump, so it's just. Leg's more plump and curvy than just being like not fat, though. And I think Beardy kind of falls more into the fat, though. Did you see Absolute redesign? Yes, I saw that there's supposed to be, from what I know, from the leaks I've seen, the Nikes that I'm actually looking forward to, they're supposed to be overclock designs. They're supposed to be overclock variations of Yunhua, Emma, and Vesti. And I saw the overclock of Emma that I'm getting immediately. I'm getting absolutely immediately. I did see Yunhua is supposed to have an overclock variation that was leaked that I really like as well. I don't know if Vesti has an overclock, but this is just for the Absolute members, though. I definitely like Drake's design. I do too. It's so surprising I got Drake. I was like, I know Drake can be one of the more OP. One of the more, especially her maid variation is like one of the most OP of the roster. Plus, I like the villain though too. I was like, Drake is supposed to be a villain, and yet she really isn't a villain.
Transform.
And yet, when you interact with her, the stuff that she does isn't really villain-like, though. I love that. It's kind of pointless. So. No, I have so many. No, I just wanted to just prove my point to Grumpy real quick. I probably should be doing more. I probably should be doing more fan arts on Nikkei's. I probably should be adding more Nikkei fan arts down the line, just because it really is fun drawing them. Like I've drawn like Rappy at least 3 times at this point. I've drawn Privity. So many Nikkeis I probably haven't drawn before. So if you guys would like to see a Nikkei, if you guys like to see a Nikkei drawing, for this art batch this month, for this term or next term, let me know. I'll definitely. And if you have a request, I might put a poll up if you guys have a specific Nikkei you guys would like to see me tackle, because I think it'd be fun. And I usually do prefer drawing Nikkeis that I already have. So that's my first. So anyway, sorry to give my awards real quick. Okay, awards. Okay, I'm good now. All right, back to it. Sorry, I had to go off on a tangent a little bit there. I know that. I'm just saying that, like, you look at Nikkei and you're just like, think if they did a character, Grumpy, what I'm trying to say is, look at the designs of Nikkei. Think if they did bring out a girl that did have, vitiligo or something like that. You don't think that they would have somehow made that appealing? Same thing with the First Descendant. Like, you don't think if they took a black female descendant You don't think that would cause an entire meltdown on Twitter? You don't think that would cause an itch storm? You know, I'm saying that it just shows the talent. It shows what they're capable of. I guess is what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and play the rest of the video from V, just because I do want to hear what these guys say about this.
Cellulitis doesn't exist because fantasy is unattainable, you know? Like, fantasy is like talking about the legends of Olympus. Artemis doesn't have cellulitis. Hera doesn't have cellulitis. Like, they all have perfect bodies and big tits. What are you talking about? Why would they put cellulitis in the video game called Nike, Goddess of Victory? Have they got brain damage from the Americans? No. Like, have they went into the United States and hired some people there to work at Shift Up? Like, what is going on? Why would it have cellulitis? And then I see the design. And apparently, yeah, like, this is a plus-size DK. And I think her backstory is that she's a chef. She likes to cook. And she likes to eat a lot of sweets. So she's got a little bit of punch.
She's like Tia.
It's on the plus size.
She's like Tia. Tia likes to
and
eat a lot.
And if you zoom into her belly, yeah, no, there's cellulitis there. So the artist actually added cellulitis on the character. And you know what's hilarious? People actually like it. Like, she's actually now one of the most liked DKs out of the bunch. And this is like mind-blowing for two different reasons. Number one, this is something that I was struggling to tell women in my life when I was doing university and even back at high school. Because you had women that had a little bit of punch and they were freaking out about it. Like, they would actually have like these extreme diets, these horrible periods of self-inflicted starvation and fasting in order to get rid of the punch. And I was telling them, dude, like, men actually like a little bit of punch. Like, it's fine, you know, for us, it's like a 13. Now, don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
Don't become like the Americans, but like, still, you know, a little bit of extra punch is not something that is going to make any man find you unattractive. And they wouldn't believe me. Like, they would still like self-convince themselves that they need to starve. And like, I actually knew a couple of ladies that were gorgeous to look at. And then they went through all of these extreme diets and they became walking skeletons. And literally no one liked them after that. And I generally like don't understand where this mindset is coming from, why they were thinking like that, like why did they convince themselves to do that? But the reality is that a little bit of punch is perfectly acceptable. And with the game DK, you can actually see that men who can have like to choose between different fictional characters that don't have punch, for some reason they also go for the belly. The second interesting thing is the absolute cope from the Western developers. Like, I remember the guy who was in charge of League of Legends at the time at the Riot Company. He went on in an interview and he said he just doesn't want to make money anymore. Like, after looking at the selling charts and noticing that their primary revenue comes from skins from female characters that are hot, you know, skins like Misfortune, like Ari, he decided, yeah, we're not going to do hourglass figures anymore. We're going to hop on this American bandwagon trend where female characters have to also look ugly. They have to look grotesque because this is what we want people to see. We want to normalize grotesqueness. And so, like, the next skins that came from League of Legends were reflective of that, right? Like, you had women that had different body shapes and obviously didn't sell as much. But I got like the idea that in order to create a beautiful female character, you need the hourglass figure was the interesting thing. And apparently it's not, right? Like, you can still have beautiful female characters that are drawn differently, that have like different sizes and proportions. But there is like certain things that if you go overboard, people don't find it attractive. And the interesting thing is that the Americans know what it is, because they consistently give you the unattractiveness. Like, they go out of their way in order to make female characters that look like men with wigs. Like strong jawlines, broad shoulders, no breasts. Like everything that makes a woman feminine, they go out of their way in order to remove it and create the uncanny valley. And then they try to charge you money for that. Then they try to ask you like, hey, this is the skin we made for this character that's unappealing. Don't you want to spend like $20 to buy it? And everyone goes like, fuck no. Why would I want to buy that, you know? these characters that the Americans are making, they lack grace, they lack heroism, they lack any sort of appeal, they lack beauty, and they lack sensuality. And so no one wants to go adventuring with these characters. Like, people don't even want to, like if this character was real, I wouldn't even want to go out to hang out with her. You know, like, I have no interest in that. It's just like the look is so off-putting, right? And like, I wouldn't even want to go have a beer with her. I wouldn't want her as a friend. I wouldn't want to go adventuring with her. I certainly wouldn't want her in my romantic relationships. And meanwhile, you know, the Koreans and the Asians have realized that there is a hole in the market. Like, there is a desire for people to spend money on products that the Western companies don't want to offer people because of ideology. And they're filling the market. And they're absolutely crushing it. They're dominating it with gacha games. Which, again, like, what is a gacha game? It's a game that's designed to work on a phone. So it's got, like, very limited resources. It's got, like, very limited things that it can do. And the only thing that it can compensate with is an amazing story, because that's free, right? Like, hiring a competent writer is not difficult, especially in the age of woke ideology in the West. There's no competition. Like, no one in the West can write good stories anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
So you hire a good writer.
That's a good point. It's a good point. It's like, kind of like the time that we're in. It is a good point. In the time that we're in, hiring a competent writer is actually easier than I thought. It's easier to find a competent writer, to find a good competent writer. You know? But, and I understand what you're saying about Brady. I'm understanding what you're saying about Brady, Grumpy. And I want to give you one other caveat here, because I understand what you're saying, like having, you know, cellulitis and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it's just like, that's something you definitely want to try carefully when it comes to adding that trait to a character design. But can I at least provide one defense? Let me show you. I'll show you here. One of the characters I showed in Nikkei, one of the characters that I showed, one of the Nikkeis I showed is a common SR Nikkei named N102. Her real name is Annie. Her real name is Annie. Or Anne. And Anne is a very cute character. She is very cute, almost like you're thinking of she's very adorable. She reminds me of Riot Kitty a little bit, but she is adorable. She's a cute character. You almost kind of see her as like a surrogate daughter in a way. But the interesting thing, the thing that I guess that makes Anne so interesting about her is the fact that Anne is born with a Anne was born with a condition where she has daily memory wipes. Like, she can't forget she forgets everything. And that was always the thing at birth, that she cannot remember everything. So you have to carry around a journal for her to remember stuff. Huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she has to carry a journal around with her so that she can actually remember stuff, because she has a memory wipe everything. She has a brain defect, and it happens every day. She keeps forgetting. And one of the first event stories was a winter event that goes into Anne's backstory, and it's freaking tragic, because the reason she had to become a Nikkei was because of her disease. Because her mother thought that, you know, her being able to, her becoming a Nikkei, her becoming a robot would help with her memory loss, and it didn't actually. It kind of didn't though, because the brain, I guess you could say, it was a disease that she can't even remember her mother's name every single day, and it was tragic actually. And it was at a moment in the party story where she remembered who her mother looked like. And it was going through the whole thing where she got a chance to actually see her mother, and it was tragic why she had to basically give her up because of that brain defect. And the story ends sadly with as Anne and her mother share one special moment together. The story ends with Anne immediately forgetting who her mother was, like right in front of her. And it goes into a lot of different, like, the thing is with Nikke is that there's a lot of character backstories that go really deep. A lot of the backstories are actually pretty dark. And despite how dark in tone and nature it is, it actually makes a lot of sense with their designs. I guess you could say it's actually one of the cases where somehow it actually makes sense with their designs why a lot of the Nikkes look the way they look, or design the way they're designed, stuff like that. We just did. I think it was part after the 1 year anniversary, 1.5, 2 year anniversary. We finally had the Red Hood. We finally had the Rappy story, when they brought Red Hood Rappy in, it was a full the full story. The event focused on, really broke down into exactly what Rappy's life was before she became a Nikke. And Rappy doesn't make it sense. Yeah. Well, it's not just a ramp. Well, it's not that. It's actually more complicated than it sounds, because it's not like, being an android. They have it's like, yes, they're androids. Yes, they're robots, yet they still have human brains, though. Their brains were basically transferred. I guess you could say their brain went through their brains and their memories transferred into a new body, basically. Some of the girls become Nikkes, usually as a life-saving measure, as a result of what was going on within this post-apocalyptic setting. And some girls became Nikke of their own choice, because I guess to them it would think it would probably lead them to a much better life. Having being able to have a self-sustaining battery, though. But the thing is that it kind of shows how dark and how really fucked this. Like when you get, especially when you get into Rappy's backstory, you kind of realize that they are literally they're screwed. Like, this universe is literally screwed. Oh my God. It's like, I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna put this one. This goes into the Miracle Snow backstory, but it's very goes into it. I'm just saying. I just wanted to try somewhat of a counterpoint to what you were saying, Grumpy. But I hope that makes sense. But here, it's a full. It goes into the whole Miracle Snow event and really explains everything. It also goes back that Anne's mother had to work multiple part-time jobs for her daughter's treatment too. Over there is it's sorry, we're going off on a tangent. I know we're going off a tangent. Let me continue. I'm glad you guys are. I'm glad we're getting into this conversation here.
You have like a little bit of slice of life that tries to romanticize about relationships and stuff. And then you also have attractive characters. So like people look at the attractive characters, they get interested in them, they play the game, they get exposed to the amazing story, and that's pretty much how South Korea is now selling games that in any other condition shouldn't act.
Also the point I wanted to bring up with N102's design is that N102 is appealing. It's not sexualized, it's very cute. It's very cute that you do sympathize with the character, you know?
Actually make money. It's mind-blowing, right? And the interesting thing is that gacha games have a bad reputation because they're predatory, right? Like EA Games used to make games that would force you to keep spending money and stuff. And I'm looking at the new gacha games that are coming from Asia, whether it's like from China or from South Korea or from Japan, and they don't have that predatory transactions anymore. Like the way Nikkei actually functions, and I talked with a lot of people, and it's not just the only one. Nikkei is the only one that I played. But like there's many others. There's Snowbreak, there's Zenless Zone Zero, like there's other games that other people played. And what they told me is that they usually now like give you stuff for free to make you feel bad that you haven't spent any money, right? Because like you're playing a Western game that costs $120 and you're barely getting any entertainment. And then you're playing this game for like 3 or 4 months and you're getting a lot of shit out of it. And a lot of people just feel bad. They're like, okay, so the devs put a lot of work. I'm going to throw them like $60. And that's the category that I fell in. And apparently, like, that's the new mentality of...
And the thing is like, Zenless... Yeah, and the thing is with Zenless, and I kept saying this with Zenless, was like, the more I play Zenless, the more I'm like, man, I would love if this game was a full price, like $60 experience. Like, I'm serious. Like, I would have loved it if it was a full price game. No gacha mechanics whatsoever. It's a full game experience because it's like, it's almost because it's the way it's built, the way it feels like it though. It feels like a traditional. In some ways, a lot of the gacha games do feel like traditional JRPGs. That he was like, man, this is cool. This is really good stuff. I'm really engaged with it. I would have loved it if this wasn't a gacha game though. I mean, if this was a full price game instead of a gacha game, but. I feel the same way about Snowbreak, and I feel the same way about Nikkei too. And I'm like, man, it's like you get the full story access. Of course, having unlock requirements for different characters instead of having to do polls and wait for banners and get rid of that FOMO and just. Take that FOMO out and you just make a full game right there. And I think it would have done gangbusters. That's just me, though. That's just me. I was just like, man, I look at Zenless and I like Zenless. I really do. It's just, man, I think I would have loved this game if it was a full price. If it was a full price game with everything up front and no gacha. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Of doing business. That's the Asian way of doing business.
Yeah,
China does it with Marvel Heroes, right? Like you go on Steam, it's free to play, and you can play it just fine. But a lot of people like realize, okay, well, I had like a lot of entertainment out of it. I put in a lot of hours. It offered me a lot of entertainment. I'll throw some money their way, buy some skins.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, that's a new business model that is so foreign and alien that the woke corporations in the West that allegedly are for social justice and the marginalized, but they overcharge. Like, and they use all these predatory transactions. Well, the game isn't free to play, but if you want to play it 4 days earlier than everyone else, you need to cough up $120. If you want to buy some skins, you need to cough up like 40 or more in microtransactions, even though like you should have everything in the game because you spent like 120 for it. And so you can definitely see like the difference in mindset of game design between the two different schools of thought. Hopefully the West is going to catch up and they're going to start realizing that the idea of like hiring tens of thousands of developers in order to make a product that's extremely expensive and mid isn't sustainable, and maybe they will try some different business practices in order to normalize the market for the West as well. Let me know what you guys think, and in the meantime, enjoy the cellulitis. Thank you.
It's funny. No, it's kind of funny because like with you look at this, and then you look at like AC Shadows. You look at AC Shadows and a lot of the other games like Avowed, stuff like that. And it's like, are you getting like, man? It's like, man, like these Western, AAA releases. Are you getting that full experience compared to an Eastern title or an Eastern Gacha game? It's like, that's so weird, though. It's like, man. Which I feel like that shouldn't be the case. Like, as a Western title, you want, as a game title, you want to offer a full experience. As a fully priced game, you want to offer a full experience sometimes, Like I said, like, yeah, with Zenless, like I said, it's really cool because I'm like, what got me was Zenless. I was like, I'm not into Hoyoverse. I'm just not. Like, I used to play Honkai Impact back when it launched, but I moved on from that. I stayed far away from Genshin and the Hoyoverse game, but it was the art style of Zenless that got me interested. It was the art style. It was the aesthetic. It was so very reminiscent of Jet Set Radio that I'm like, man, I'm a sucker for, and I'm a natural sucker for urban aesthetic. So it's very urban to me. I like that. Like, the character designs, I think, are really, really fun. Really fun, really creative, especially playing on the. And yet they still keep it with that urban Jet Set Radio inspired aesthetic. Yeah, very appealing. And you definitely have an interesting world because it's not just humans. You have what you call Theorans, which are basically human-like creatures such as like furries, such as cat Nakos, like furries and stuff like that. You also have Zenless also has robots, which I found interesting, which is these are cyborgs who have to pass this forbidden fruit. I think it's called the forbidden fruit test or forbidden fruit exam to be classified as a citizen, basically. And there are a couple of robot characters, such as Billy. Billy's a robot. Billy's a cyborg. Kingy is a cyborg. Some of the people in 6th Street, I think the head of the coffee shop at 6th Street is a robot as well. And I think it's kind of a cool aesthetic. It's like, okay, so in this world, certain robots or androids, cyborgs who have more humanoid tendencies, or much more human, they have to pass this exam to be classified as a citizen, basically. And they still act. These are also like robots that act on their own free will. I think it's kind of an interesting premise because you have like different races, different characters, and they're all humanoid, and they have all these crazy features. But yeah, I know people are fawning over Ultra being, because Ultra being the furry characters. You have, Nakos as well. You even have Onis like Sokaku. So that's like really cool. James the freaking Wrath here. Yeah, there's an NPC character in Zenless. I think we go into Hollow Zero that I'm looking. I take what it's a tiger. She has a tiger motif. It's a tiger girl, and I take one good look at her, and I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be an agent. She's gonna be an S-rank agent. And I think that's how really good. Like even they do a really good job. Like with Zenless, I think they do a really good job to where even the NPC characters you interact with have really, really cool designs. I'm like, some of these have to be characters. Like some of these are going to be like playable characters. Like, I think that's what you kind of want to have. Is like I think games have a tendency to have these NPC characters that you're like, okay, when are they going to be playable? Because they look too cool to not be a playable character. And it's like, sure enough, down the line, they end up becoming a playable character. It's like, okay. Like, we experienced that with Nikke having having one of the Nikkeis being a corrections officer. I think she is a corrections officer or something like that. She's like she's like a corrections officer, kind of like looking over she's a corrections officer for a jail for Nikkeis, basically. And she becomes playable. I was like, oh, that's cool. So they do her entire class Nikkei reading this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So they come from the plot, stay for the plot. It's like, damn, you really a lot of thought was put into the writing, I will say. Clearly it's and it's like, okay, they do a good job of making you sympathize, and I think that's why part of the reason why I stuck with Nikkei for so long was that they really do a good job of making you actually attach yourself to characters, even though they may not be characters that you may not own or something like that, but you feel yourself attached to these characters once you get into their backstories and stuff like that. And it's like, man, I'm really feeling for this character. Like, man, I'm really feeling for that character. I'm like, damn, I really like this character a lot. Okay, sounds good. I am so sorry. Okay, now for you. Okay, we're about to wrap this up. So, I'm gonna go for like 12 more minutes. I'm gonna see if I can at least get the contact shading ready for the Yamasuko girl, and then we shall. Thank you guys so much. Please smack that like button, make sure you guys are really. Look at we've gone into this real big discussion now. But going back to what I was saying earlier, and to Grumpy, the point I was trying to make earlier was that having those, I guess you could say having those traits that, you know, the West loves to promote. What I was trying to say was that I think if it was under anyone else, under any other development team, any Eastern studio, they would somehow take that and make it appealing. They would take that and make it work, I guess you could say. Like I said with Brady, somehow they found a way to make make a character with, you know, cellulitis and somehow make that work. I think it more shows to the, and even though I don't think that was their intention. I just don't think that was just their. I don't think that was just like their main focal point. It was just something they wanted to add to it to make it more interesting, and it works. I'm like, okay. I guess I'll say that first. I'd say that, you know, putting good designs first before ideology, putting the design of the character first, you know, and don't center it around an ideology, don't center it around a set, because we see that a lot of times where, you know, a character's only design trait is that they're black, or they're a black woman, or they're LGBTQ, or they have this, that, and the third, instead of, you know, okay, that's just a trait. That can't be their entire character. That can't be their entire character. You know what I mean? And I think that should, and I said that with Dustborn. Dustborn's character designs are, we need to check this box, and this box, despite the fact that if you put so many of these check boxes in one character, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and make it as just unappealing as possible. Like for that big girl, it's like, okay, so she has vitiligo, she's sex obsessed, and she's also Muslim. Like, that makes no sense. Like, there's some contradicting here. Like, they prioritized. It's prioritizing. It was just humor. I think it was done out of just humor. It would just be like a fun little Easter egg or fun little thing, little trait they could put that in there. And I think it's just, you have that, there's that fun factor. There's that coolness factor that for some designs to work, it needs to have that coolness factor. And they need to be able to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a real life situation, yeah, no. And that's why I think that this is, it is escapism that you can look at it through. Like, when you look at the rest of the roster, it's like, okay, interesting. Brady can be, you know what? I'm gonna show this. We're probably gonna need to cap this for now, Grumpy, because I want to share this design with Mama Bear. See what she thinks of it. It's a very interesting discussion we're having, though. Damn, I didn't think we would go into this discussion on a Monday morning. It's a Monday morning. We got us. I didn't think we would go into the station. Yeah, and speaking of which, Ubisoft is not doing too well. So yeah, even worse. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. You guys have been amazing, especially you, Grumpy. That is it for me. We're gonna go wrap this up, guys. I can't. I do want to explain. I can't do evening shows anymore. I can't do evening shows anymore because I'm not by myself in the evenings now. We got a new hire last week, and we're training them to take over the closing shift. So I'll be in probably maybe about a week's time, maybe about a week's time, I will be back to the 10 to 7 shift, which what that means is Makini in the morning will be reduced to like 2 hours, or I would have to start an hour and a half show. Well, I can trade them in night stream, but I prefer not to because we're not in an office cubicle setting. Not in an office cubicle setting, and I really don't like to. And like the only reason I was able to live stream is because I'm the only person in that department right now. I'm the only person there while it's closing. I'm the last person to leave, basically. I'm the only one there. So if it's just me, nobody's around, then I could stream. That way, no one has to hear me talk louder. You know what I mean? What I'm thinking, Power, is once I'm back on the 10 to 7 schedule, I'm thinking of starting Makini in the morning at 6 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. So we'll try to get 2 hours of a show. The only thing is, I wake up at 6 a.m., so I need to. They won't rat me out. They won't. I don't feel comfortable, We'll see. But I'm going back to my old schedule, so that means Makini in the morning will be reduced to probably about an hour and a half. Yeah, probably about an hour and a half, if not an hour. Shows moving forward. So keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. And I do need to sleep. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack the subscribe button, make it jiggle. I'm probably not going to do a Wednesday show, as I want to focus on getting the batches out. Plus, I want to focus on getting a video ready. I want to try to get a video out too this week. We can talk about the AC Shadow and such, or another topic I had in mind. But let me know what you guys think, and see you guys later. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Anyway, I'm Makini90, our German illustrator. Thank you for hanging out with me on Makini in the morning for this week. It is definitely feeling like spring. Enjoy. Have a great. This week, I think we're just going to have Monday and Friday show this week. I think this week I'm just going to have a Monday and Friday show. So. Anyway, because, yeah, it's still stuff I need to do. So, anyway. I love y'all. See y'all next time. Peace!
Cute, sexy, and fun. And that is definitely the best way to describe our channel members, too. We'd like to thank everyone in the CSF Nation for your incredible support. Join the channel for as low as $1 a month to get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. And all your support goes to helping out the channel and helping Makini put out the best content he can for you all to view and you all to enjoy. He appreciates all of your support, and we also appreciate your support as well. CSF Nation for life. Mwah! Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the morning and getting your morning started off on the right foot with us. If you enjoy this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle. Share the show out to everyone you know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. Become a channel member for as low as $1 a month. You want to support Makini further, and if you want to see more content from Makini and help him reach his 6K subscriber goal, hit that subscribe button. He would really, really appreciate it. I am Marisa Tali, producer and weather girl for this very program, and we all wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next time here on Makini in the morning. Mwah! Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right here in Pacific City. guys love waking up with us here on Makini in the morning, but if you would like to actually be in the live taping of Makini in the morning, all you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free for free tickets. We would love to see you here in the audience for our next Makini in the morning live show. Makini in the Morning is produced by Souvenir Productions with Makini Charles Productions in association with Enlisa Lockar Television and Makara Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.